everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astroneer. This is a showcase episode, so that's why it's 30X. Uh, Chuck, Todd, and I, our schedules just have not lined up for the past month and a half or so. We record about 3 or 4 episodes at a time, and I'm down to only one pre recorded episode. And as I may have mentioned before, I was in a show that closed just 2 nights ago, so my weekends and weeknights are free. So I can actually go back and edit and render and put up that last episode that we recorded. And then hopefully Chuck, Todd, and I can get back together at some point. Wow, that's a lot of light coming in there. But Chuck, Todd, and I can get back together to record more episodes so we can continue what's going on because we are having a lot of fun. It's just schedules just aren't working out. So I thought, I missed out last week. No warning, just no episode. And I really do want to be consistent, so I'm going to put something out. And this is going to be, I talk about my big saves. I have what I call Save 1, which is the huge save. That is the save that I started February 9, 2019. Just, I'm sorry, 2000, yeah, 9, right? Yeah, that, February 9, or was it February 6? February 6, I think it was, of 2019. Yeah, February 6, when 1.0 launched. That is a save that's still going to this day, and it has survived the big shake, as I call it, which was where Terrain 2.0 came in, and or maybe it was 2.1 or something, where a lot of the terrain that I had manipulated had been reverted back to what it was originally. Um, but that's that one. Then I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are kind of throwaways, although 5 I did put a lot of effort into. 6 has a lot of stuff in it that I showed off in the last episode, showcase episode 24X, I believe it was. This is 7, and this is one that I created, oh gosh, I want to say maybe 3, 4 months ago. Maybe even a little bit earlier. I think it was right after I came back from Disney World. So that would have been January of 2023. So, not Disney World, I'm sorry, from Florida. I did go to Epcot for one day there. So, let's go ahead and start. I have 2 main bases here on Silva. And as many of you know, I like my bases to have space. I like to have space around my bases. I don't like the clutter. I don't like just turning around. Yeah, you have to run from place to place. But to be honest, it's open. And that's what I have done here with this base. So here, this is where the snails live, as well as Eva. Spoiler alert if you haven't gotten that far. But this is where the snails live, as well as Eva. And then all the basics. I don't have all the storage that I need here because my cup of sugar neighbor, the next base, which is right over, if you can see the cursor over here, it's kind of like over this way. In fact, if I bring up the radar, okay, actually it's over here through this mountain, or mountain, hill. That's where the production base is. This was the first base that was established when I started the game. I way over-engineered here, but I wanted a train station on a siding, and then what I also wanted was dual track coming through, so that trains can just pass through. I play this game all by... Oh, I am sorry, folks. I caught the cord of the microphone headset. Let me take care of that. Sorry. Even though I play this game all by myself, I, for some reason, plan like there's going to be trains zipping through here all the time. Obviously, that never happens. But I have the train station on its own siding and then 2 parallel tracks. But the parallel tracks, as you can see, there's a junction right up here. that merges back to a main line, and there's a junction over here that merges to the main line. Right over here, because I don't like it, so I put it way out of the way, is a xenobiology lab. Because, to be honest, yes, it is, spoiler alert for those of you that haven't gotten that far, it is a really great thing to, the story is really great and everything, but then it just sits there and takes up space. So, spoiler alert, but also a tip, if you get to the point where you are putting down that xenobiology lab, put it somewhere where you don't care about. Put it far away where it isn't going to get in your way. In a similar vein, this first train station, the logistics depot on the various planets, I'm not talking about the train stations you can build, the smaller ones, this one right here, same thing. Put them, because you can't destroy them and you can't move them. Once you build them, they are permanent. So make certain that they are somewhere you want them to be. And another thing, if you're OCD like me, make certain that terrain that you build them on, the logistics depots especially, is level. Get that alignment mod. Get a very large flat area, and then you can drop it down on there, and then you will have a nice level train station. I think it's in this save particularly that my Glazio logistics depot is at an angle, and it's not too much, but it bugs the heck out of me, and I can't do anything about it. I can't level it. Anyhow, this is also the base where I am storing all of the unique curious items that I find. Again, this isn't really a spoiler alert because you will find these right away in a new save. But they give you a lot of lore. I won't show what any of them say. They give some lore that explains why Astroneers are here and what they're doing. And it's a kind of a neat story. I like it. I like it so far. I thought it was going to mesh with that graphic novel that just came out. To be honest, I was a little disappointed with the graphic novel. It's a one-time read, and I don't have to go back and read it again. There was nothing engaging about it, nothing that made me want to go back. But this isn't about the graphic novel. So, continuing on, I have a shredder. This is a very basic base. It has the basics, as it were. It does have one additional landing pad, which has my first shuttle sitting on it. And that's it. So let's go and take a look at the big base. Now, those of you that have seen my saves before will know I like my automated storage and sorting. And I've done that at the other base over here. This isn't the most direct route, but it is a fast route using coal. So a bit of fun here. I just thought it would be kind of neat, instead of tunneling under the rail, to actually have a grade crossing, just like a real railroad. So I did that. And then to go even further, but the rendering makes this a little bit annoying, but maybe I can make this happen. I actually have crossing guard gates coming in, and let me see if I can show that off. What I'll do is I'll move coal way over here. Sometimes coal is just too fast to show off some of these things. But yeah, you can see they kind of went down because of the rendering, because things will only activate or whatever when they're in range. But if I go ahead and I bring coal all the way back to, come on, can I get to this one? Yeah. To here, and we watch the grade crossing, so let's, oh gosh, don't do that to me. Okay, it's gonna give me this problem, isn't it? Come on. There. And then, as the train approaches, I get these to pop up. I had a lot of fun putting them in there. It was a pain in the tuckus to get that to work. Because if you ever had bucking platforms, oh my gosh, they bucked all the time. It took me about 3 hours to get this, and I will not do it at the other grade crossing. But anyhow, that was a little bit of fun that I had there. There's all the guts are underneath the little mound there, and then they're triggered by the mile posts, rail posts. I think yeah, this one right here. But we won't see it happen because of how rendering works. But they will have now popped down. You can see they actually stopped flashing, but the storage would have gone down as well. This is a line that goes off to the South Pole, I think it is, or the North Pole. Which one is it? The North Pole. That goes off to the North Pole and the equatorial line. The equatorial line is a rail line that follows the equator, more or less. My garden, where I am keeping stuff that I want to grow for usage later on. I don't have everything here yet. I don't know if I'll get to that same detail that I had in Save 6, where I had every plant, the water coming down the aqueduct, everything. That was a lot of work. I had a lot of fun, but I don't know if I'm going to do it again. My little pseudo roundabout slash thing, this is the main equatorial road, even though it veers from the equator a little bit. On the other side of this mountain is the actual equator, and there actually is a gateway chamber right on the other side of this mountain. Also, I was getting annoyed with going over, trying to get over this road to my garden. So I built this little bridge, and it worked out really kind of neat. I went over the rail and the road because I like to sort of keep some realism. So you can see there actually is clearance here. Clearance has clearance, as it were, for any vehicles to go underneath. We're going to get into the actual base itself. Now here I went overboard. We're going to go past to here, as I've done in many times. I found this and I established a base around it. Let's look at the personal space. So the equatorial road, and then I have my little driveway that comes in off of it. Got my little buggies sitting here, buggy 1, buggy 2, just sitting here waiting to be used. My shelter, which actually is contributing to the network because I buried underneath here, right about here I think it is. You can see the tether line coming up to go to that. And I just realized that's hovering, but oh well. A spot for my VTOL. And then some nice little landscaping. I do my best to leave the natural stuff around. So I left all this wonderful organic here because it just kind of gives it that look that, hey, it's a landscaped area and it's not barren and Spartan. I had a lot of fun getting these little landscape lights in. You can see there's a couple of them. One, two. I made certain my little guy's head clears here as he goes underneath. And then there's another one there. Those are literally, they're just a small platform with a power cell and a work light sitting on them. There's a platform underneath there. I could have run power extenders and such to get to each of these, but it was easier to just drop a platform in there with the power cells, because you find power cells everywhere. This leads over to, of course, the landing pad. I have all this on here, my various colors, because I am putting colors in, or painting the landscape on some of my other bases on other planets, because I hate that gray, that default gray that you get when you level land or add land. I hate that gray. So I'm putting color, and I usually stick to these three greens right here. I forgot where this green came from, but these are the Silva greens right here, these three, dark, mid, and light. And then here's the three Silva browns, dark, mid, and light as well. And this is the dark brown. You can see actually there's the light green, the mid green, and there's the dark green Silva. Okay, so moving over to the base. By the way, I call it Twin Knights because if you look in the upper left of the screen, Yep, there's my two knights. They guard the station. So this is the Twin Knights station. And I had a lot of fun with this. Look at this. It's almost like a soccer field. And you may have just saw the lights turned off. And they're going to kick on again really quick because of a small bug in the game. But that was something that I decided to try, and it worked out really cool. That at nighttime, the lights come on. They're going to pop on again because, like I said, there is a bug with the game where it thinks there's a shadow on my light sensor. Or maybe that is it. Yeah, they turned off because there we go, they're on. Because there's a shadow that for some reason falls on the light sensor, so it thinks it's nighttime, but now it is permanent. So that's kind of cool that it keeps the base, or the work area lit. And yeah, look at this. It is not perfectly flat. I use the leveling or alignment mod to kind of follow the curvature of the planet, because you have to remember these planets are small and they are spherical. So any flat plane that you extend for more than, let's say, about 100 feet in game, as it were, is going to start to look like a bowl. And you don't want that. So you use that alignment mod and you go maybe 20 steps with your Astroneer and then start again, and maybe in a hexagonal pattern. I didn't do that here, but this sort of follows the curvature of the planet. This is my sorting. Here is the main terminal, freight terminal. So everything feeds into this one terminal. It can hold 96 items. As soon as anything shows up on that station, the auto arms, well, not as soon as, 25 cycles in game after something shows up. This auto arm will turn on, pluck it, move it over here, and every one of them has a sensor. You can see a storage sensor all the way down the line there. Yeah, they're not perfectly aligned. I don't care. That way the auto arms aren't just pulling power all the time. They're only pulling power when they're needed, and only for about a second and a half afterward as well. It's enough time for them to drop off what they're holding on to and then flip back to their default position, and then they power off and turn or flatten down. And it actually works out really well. Does it add some time to the process? A little bit on the first kick, but after a large stream of stuff is coming in, they're consistent and moving. One thing that I do have here is I do have 8 of the portable smelters. I love these things. These are awesome. In fact, to me, they make the normal smelter obsolete. Because I can get 8 things being refined at one moment here. It will cost more energy. I think they cost 2U while they're running. Yeah, 2U. But 8 going at once versus, if you saw my other ones, 3 going at once. 3 wasn't enough. Things could back up. With these 8, I've never seen more than 6 going at a time. So the 2 extra are there just in case. But otherwise, everything flows smoothly with those 8. And then there's this empty slot here, which I probably should have something sitting there just so that nothing gets dropped off there, but I haven't had any issues with that yet. All of the refined and raw resources are represented here. Did I add an extra d on that? Represented. Yeah, represented. I think. My brain is having problems. But anyhow, they're all represented here. Composite things such as nanocarbon, alloy, rubber, silicone, all those. I don't have dedicated storage for them, but I have a little bit over here. This is just extra space with my research chamber, shredding, and some extra to go there. I brought back, just for cosmetic, just for fun, I brought back some of these to just sit here, kind of just give a little bit of verisimilitude to the base. And then a couple of backpacks that I dragged back over here as well. Just, I don't know why, I just did. You may remember long ago, I don't know if this was even when I was recording, but I did post a photo and a screenshot of, if you remember when you actually had a dead Astroneer. Um, I just had fun. I created a tomb, and I brought back every dead Astroneer I could find to this location, and dropped them off. But when I was staging them, it looked like I had, it was like a really, the day after a really big party, there's just all these Astroneers passed out everywhere. But anyhow, we had to get rid of the Astroneers because it was too traumatic for some people. If you're traumatized by that, okay. But anyhow, this is the main base. Also over here, again, I like to collect stuff and add to, the verisimilitude, as it were. So I bring back these as I find them. Uh, I think this is nitrogen. I found that way underground. Obviously, just raw power. Laterite, a second laterite, and then some that I actually opened already, sitting here. Also got an exo cache just sitting here. I was talking about power sensor. This is our light sensor. These are my light sensors. There's two of them just to cover if there is like a shadow from something temporarily. They'll cover that very brief period because there was a shadow from, I don't know if it was this or not, but there was a shadow where the lights would kick on then off in for about 2 seconds or so. This took care of that problem. They're hooked up to a power sensor. That power sensor then it goes and triggers all of those lamp posts. So that's how that works. It's very easy to do. Something that you can do. This is my, it's not really a roundhouse, but I kind of laid it out like that. You can see there's an ever so gentle curve there, and radiating off of it are various lines. And I have 2 spare rail engines and 6 spare rail cars just staged here. These were working really cool in the sense of when a car or anything was parked at the end, the light up here would be on, and then when it left, it would turn off. Now, it doesn't do that anymore because they changed how these end rail posts work with the switches. I'm a little disappointed, but that also screwed up my other big save 6, because I was depending on these to trigger when a train left that mile post, or darn it, rail post. I was depending on it. Unfortunately, it screwed everything up. That's just unfortunately how the game goes. Now I have to figure out how to turn this thing around because I want to get it back. Well, there is an easy way to do that. I just grab this, I put that there, get into it, and now watch, it'll turn off when I arrive. Not what I was hoping for. What I was really hoping for is that it would just toggle so that it would say, hey, it's occupied, and the light would be on to keep the train nice and lit. Doesn't do that anymore. Why? Please explain to me. Please, System Error, why that happened. It doesn't make sense. Anyhow, this road does lead over to the other base. In fact, there he is, the main base that I came from originally. This line is the freight line. In fact, it diverges over here. So as I said, everything feeds to that. In fact, there's one more up there. Actually, I'll start over here. So this is the freight line that goes to the underworld. I can take passenger down there, as it were. It is all one network. I don't like having them there. This right here is what connects the passenger to the freight. Because if I do call nearest car, I don't want to get a freight car. I don't want to get a freight car because freight cars are doing their thing. And if you call nearest car and you get a freight car, you're going to mess up automation. So I don't like having them connected. So far, that has not been an issue. These here are just purely for fun. They indicate which of these two lines is the one that has locked that junction up here. Or that turnout, whatever it is you want to call it. Switch, junction, turnout, whatever it is you want to call it. This turnout is what connects the freight line to the passenger line right here. And then this freight, or this turnout, this goes off to a malachite deposit that's up there in the mountains. This continues on. By the way, all the little small wind turbines that I find, I usually just drop off on the nearest rail post. Hey, why not? Grab that power from everywhere. Going this way, I have a resin auto thumper, and it's just sitting there ready to go again. And over here is a compound auto thumper ready to go again. And then here's the base that I started at, and I forgot. I forgot to show this off. I was working on, but I never finished it because I just lost interest in it. This is how a lot of things work. I just have so many abandoned projects. But this one was to be a area where the snails could roll around and have fun in their gravity globes. I just never got around to finishing it because, you don't want them to escape. If they escape, you'll never find the gravity globe again. You'll be able to recall the snail, but you won't be able to get the gravity globe back. And I do want to keep the gravity globes. Anyhow, so yeah, there's the original base. And then this little road here is what does lead over to what I call the Cup of Sugar road. So I can wander over here to Twin Knights fairly easily. You can see there's plenty of clearance going under that rail. And then coming in, there we are, back to Twin Knights. This is the parking area for all of my surface vehicles, and a little bit of storage there nearby. And that is pretty much it here at Silva. Now the Equatorial Road and rail, I could show it off, but it would just be, going on forever. In fact, speaking of Equatorial Rail, there it is right there. Over there. It sneaks through a little pass over there, and then through a little pass there, and then this joins up. And this is the only segment on the entire planet that currently has my block protection. And you can see right now that that block is clear. This is the link that connects to the equatorial line, and there's the equatorial line right there. The equatorial line is almost ramrod straight, but it does swerve a little bit at some points, but not mostly. There's not much else to show off except for power. You may have noticed when I was riding coal back, there was a platform that had some stuff on it. I keep all my power generation away from the base so I don't have to listen to those RTGs. Again, System Era, if you ever do watch these videos, please give us an option to just mute the RTGs. They just, that especially at the shelter. Please just give us that option. So I will finish the video by wandering over to the last base that I've been working on, and why I had all these colors even though I wasn't using them all. Oh, you can see a little beacon way the heck over there. That was where there was a graphite deposit that I was grabbing stuff from. Over on Glazio, I have been working on a base. One thing I do like, and I think I did mention this before, is how from orbit, if you look, you can see, look at that, you can actually see the rail line. And that equatorial line does serve two other stations. Because as I was going around the planet, I found two more of those abandoned landing pads. And there's one of them right there that it serves. There's a divergence or a turnout that serves that. And I think that one might be the dead end. Oh, no, there it is right there. You can see it actually does connect to the pole at that point. Um, and then you can see the rail line there again. And like I did my best. It's a little bit off. There, I think, is the actual equator right there. So, it's fairly close. That wasn't my objective. My objective was to circle the planet. You can see there it does do a little bit of a turnout or a little bit of a turn to go around that gateway chamber, and then continuing on, there is one more landing pad right there, and you'll see another turnout comes in right there to the equatorial line that goes off to the pole as well, and to here you will see there's a line that turns out, and it does serve, if you can see that there, sort of. And then the line that also goes through right there is the junction. You can see it right there. All right, enough about that in orbit. Let's go to Glazio and show off what's going on there. Glazio is my second favorite planet in the game because it is where I do all my high-end stuff. So anything that requires titanium, hematite, so on and so forth, those are done there. And you can see, if you look really close, there's a rail line right there. And this is a landing pad, wrecked one, that was right next to my first base. We're going to land at the first base, and you can see, look at that already, some of the green that I got going in there. Don't mind that. That's just a little spot where I was testing out some colors. So this is the Glazio base. This one, my freight and passenger are segregated. This is my underground station. I am not going to have the sorting and automation that I would have back on Silva, because all I really would harvest from this planet is titanite and hematite and possibly graphite, because there are some really good graphite deposits you can find on Glazio. So I would probably just have one station, and then you can see over here there's a rail head here. What I do is I just move that, and it will automatically connect up to that. And then I come over here, and I move this rail post away a little bit so that this doesn't connect. And then this station serves that side. This goes off to graphite, even though I haven't done anything with that graphite deposit. Yep. This goes down to a titanite deposit. Those are really the only things that I would do. Although very recently I did finish this line all the way to the core of Glazio, because this might be a second Astronium collection. One day, very soon, I may actually get an auto thumper down there to start getting some Astronium, because I do want to get a lot of the things you can get from Astronium and the trade platform. And a couple of ammonium exo research aids, and these guys, they have their space. So you can see, I just had a little bit of fun. This is their space. So, no, there are no Astroneers allowed in the red zone, as it were. So they get that. I'm fine with it. I just had fun. When I did establish the base, there were some that were right over here. They did have to go though. I think they were like right here, and that was just way too close to the shuttle. Every time it would pop out, and I would just wander over, they would get a little angry. So I had to put an end to that. This is the entrance to the underworld. Um, Not much to see there, but again, this base is established mostly to take advantage of titanite and hematite. So all I really want over here is a chemistry lab. You can see an atmospheric condenser so I can get that wonderful argon, so I can get steel. Um, a smelter, although eventually that will be replaced with portable smelters. Um, my print platform for all of my printing needs, and a shredder just to get whatever else I can't acquire. Um, so this will help me get all those other things. So if I need a little bit of copper or I need a little bit of tungsten, I can get it from here to take care of that particular issue. I am having a lot of fun. I will show this off with that other landing pad that I discovered. This episode is going a little long, but um, so we'll just go ahead and wander. And again, I like to make my rail lines um, nice, especially the passenger line. So you can see I have these nice gentle curves, and they're also fairly level. Um, and coming into here, I had a lot of fun with this one, and I'm going to eventually put a second little base here. In fact, this might be the habitable base, and then that's work, and then I just have a simple train ride to work every day. Way over there, you can see right there, that was here, and I just moved it over there with a winch because I didn't want it nearby. One day I will blow it up with some dynamite, but for now it's just staying over there. Um, I, as I've said many times, I love Disney World. I have a lot of fun. Epcot is my favorite park there. Where else can you go? Have food from 11 different countries, beverages from 11 different countries. Not only to that, but there's such wonderful things over in what was Future World, but now it's World Discovery or whatever, and I can't remember what they rebranded all that area to, but Spaceship Earth, Journey into Your Imagination, The Land, so on and so forth. Um, and I was going to, if you've ever been there, how the monorail kind of like goes around Future World. I was going to do that kind of thing, but I decided against it. But I did. This is my sort of homage to that, where I did this nice little curve to just go right by this landing pad, and then this line goes off to a gateway engine, which is located. Oh, there goes some shadows from rail posts. System error. That'd be nice if you could take care of that bug. But anyhow, there is a gateway engine way the heck over here. That's where this line goes to. So eventually I will have an equatorial rail on this planet as well. Why do I do the equatorial rail? You didn't ask that, but I asked it for on your behalf. It is a way to get around the planet, and especially if I connect the poles. You're never too far away from a rail line at that point. So you can grab a bunch of junk, right, for salvage. You can find new resources. You can find new wrecks. You can find new areas to have fun in. This game is beautiful. There are so many areas, and exploration is one of those things that makes it so much fun. Rails, as you're laying down the rails, I find so many wonderful things. Um, And, this episode really has gone on long, but I am going to follow this on because I am proud of this particular line. I have I've gotten out of the habit of doing the ramrod straight stuff, and I'm now into a follow the land, follow the contours of the land. So look for a pass and maybe go through the pass. Here I didn't want to do too much elevation change, so I just did tunnel straight in and through here. Um, and then when I got to the other side, I saw this, tundra, this little crater, so I just followed its edge. And then I had a lot of, I found this much more pleasing. Elevation changes. There is one here, and there's another one coming down. They're a pain in the butt because unless you do it with just between 2 mile, darn it, rail posts, it looks really weird because every rail post you get that level, 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 unless you can find a way to angle the rail post so that it is a kind of a smooth or a continuous slope that the rail line follows. So I haven't explored beyond here yet. So this is all to be explored in the future. And there we go. I don't even know if I've found the probe on this planet yet. It's usually in something like that. I'll be laughing my butt off if that is actually where it's at. So I may actually find more of those wrecked landing pads. I could possibly find, especially on Glacio and Atrox, you can just find nanocarbon alloy just hanging out. As well as the occasional portable smelter. As, just all the beauty that this game has to offer. It really is a pretty game, and exploring is one of the elements that makes this game so much fun, as well as, of course, the ability to just build and have fun building. And there's still the danger that's involved in this game, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone around like something like this and there's a boom-a-loon right there and it pops and it doesn't get you, but it makes me jump every single time. I can't tell you how many times it makes me jump. So I've gone really long on this one, folks. I'm gonna go ahead, wrap up the episode. I'm gonna have one more episode ready to edit and render with Todd and Chuck. I hope to have that up next week. What is today? Today's the 22nd. This will be airing on the 23rd, so May 30th. I hope to have that episode up now that I have time. Just to let you guys know, I love this game, but one of the things that isn't enjoyable is getting these videos together, especially the ones with Chuck and Todd, because a 30-minute video that we record turns into about 4 hours of work. It is a lot of work. So those of you that are aspiring to do your content and you want to put stuff up on YouTube, excellent, do it. Just do it. Do what's fun, but be prepared for that. It is a lot of work. When it's just me, I don't have any editing. I just find a start point, find an end point, and boom, that's it. Then I render. But with Chuck and Todd, I have to go in, okay, whose point of view am I going to show at this point? And that's where it turns into, I basically watch the video 3 times. Because it's like, okay, this is a good spot to show my point of view. But then Chuck may have found something really interesting, or as he invariably does, gets stuck in a hole somewhere. So, showing him getting out of that or falling into it, as it may be. So, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas of your that you might play with, or give you an idea that's original. Obey your fun. Do what sounds fun. If you don't care about a laid out base like this, don't lay it out. But it can be done. You can have fun. Function can still, form can still follow function. So you can have a base that is functional and at the same time is something that is pleasant to look at. Um, that's all I need to say. I've been going on way too long. That's the third time I've said it, so that's it. Third strike, I'm out. Everybody, I will see all of you in the next video of Astroneer. So take care and bye. I really hope I was getting audio during all that.